Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners.
Goldylocks Productions presents the Live from Little Bear Sanctuary show with Christopher Vane. Enjoy topics such as the vegan lifestyle, sanctuary media highlights, and spotlighting new rescues.
Happy Friday, friends. Welcome to Live from Little Bear Sanctuary. I'm your host, Chris Vane. Okay, guys, you know it's my favorite day of the week. It's Friday, and it's my favorite day of the week because I get to spend it with you guys. And today we have a great show planned. If you're watching live on the Little Bear Sanctuary Facebook or the Goldylocks Productions YouTube, don't forget to sign in. Like our pages, subscribe, hit that like button on the videos. It's a really amazing way to support us. And like, you know, I always tell you guys with social media, it's all about the numbers and followers. So we would be honored if you subscribed and liked our stuff. And of course, our shows are on demand on both channels. And also you can find on-demand shows on the Little Bear Sanctuary website. And last week we had an amazing show. If you missed it, I highly recommend you take a look. We had the amazing Esther the Wonder Pig and her two dads, Derek and Steve, and it was a lot of fun. And everybody was there. Cornelius showed up, Phil, the whole gang was there. It was a lot of fun. So don't forget to check it out on demand. Share it with your friends. It was a fun show. So today is the pre-show for our 21-day plant-based vegan challenge. And I couldn't have thought of anyone better to have on our show, one of our repeat guests. And I know you guys love him to death. I love him to death. He's been a longtime friend. My great friend, David Marsella of David's Kitchen, LA. Good morning, David.
Hey, Chris. How are you today?
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me back. It's been a couple months. I missed you guys.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
So what are we making today?
So you know what? Today's going to be the perfect intro to your 21-day challenge because you can't be on a 21-day challenge without chocolate chip cookies, right? So today I'm going to make a awesome chocolate chip cookie recipe that's actually a version of, those of you that might travel a lot, DoubleTree Hotel cookies. And the gimmick with the DoubleTree Hotels is when you check in, they give you a warm chocolate chip cookie. They're delicious. Who doesn't like that? So I'm going to make those today. Even though we haven't been traveling, you could eat the cookie and think, well, you know, remember better times, right? So I'm going to make the chocolate chip cookies for us. And then I'm going to make one of my favorite pasta sauces, but I'm also using pasta, going to use spaghetti squash. And the spaghetti squash will replace the pasta and give you another more healthy alternative if you're trying to reduce your carbs, etc., and you want pasta.
I'm excited about that one too.
Yes, yes. So they're both
I
really.
may or may not have made some cookies, but I did not do the squash.
I think you might have made some cookies too. So that's great. So you ready for me to get started?
Let's do it. I want to see some cookie making. Yeah.
Okay, great. So guys, this recipe has a lot of ingredients, but it comes together pretty quick. The first thing you have to do, which I almost forgot, is to preheat the oven at 300 degrees. So that's going on in the background. And the first thing we're going to do is take a stick of vegan butter. And this has been out of the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. When you make cookies, you know, sometimes they're a little bit more mounded, sometimes they come out flat. A big reason for that has to do with what the temperature of the butter is. If the butter is too warm and soft, your cookies are going to flatten out. If the butter's a little bit more chilled, they'll hold their shape a little bit during the baking process, and hence you'll have a little bit of a thicker, chewier cookie.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
I know. See, you learn something every day. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just cream the butter a little bit. And it doesn't take much. The butter will break up. All
I'm going to
right.
say good
And
morning
then
to some people. Good morning, Wilma. Good morning, Allison. Good morning, everybody.
to the
Jean,
butter,
good
we're
morning,
going to add
Jean.
1/3 of a cup of brown sugar and 1/3 of a cup plus a tablespoon of regular granulated sugar, and go ahead and make this go around. It's nice and fluffy. It's going to get a little loud. The master behind the curtain can mute my mic. Chris, you made these, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And I haven't eaten one yet, so I'm there. I'm looking at them right now. They're big too, guys. These cookies are gigantic.
So it doesn't take a lot to cream the butter and sugar together. It's nice and fluffy. The next
like 2 minutes. It was really quick.
Yeah. The next thing we're going to do is 3 tablespoons of plant-based milk with a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice, which will kind of curdle it, almost make like a mock buttermilk.
Yep.
And we're also adding at this point 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm just going to mix this up a little bit longer.
I didn't have chocolate chips, David, so I used raisins. I made a really healthy version. I would have rather had the chocolate, but you know.
You know, one of my favorite sayings about cooking is, you know what, make things your own. And, you know, if you want to use a recipe as your guide, but you don't like something or you really like something else, like you did, you could swap things out. You could put craisins in here. If you don't like walnuts, put pecans, you know, really white chocolate, dried cherry. There's a myriad of things that you could actually do that, you know, put some creativity in what you're cooking in the kitchen, right?
Absolutely.
So I just mixed this up a little bit. The next thing I'm going to do is I have 1 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour with 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, just a teeny tiny bit of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Those are in dry ingredients. Just going to use the back of my spoon here to mix these around. I'm just going to drop this all in at one time and get this mixed in together. Not too long, just a minute or two.
Any plans for the weekend, David?
You know, it's going to be a very nice weekend here in California, almost 80 degrees. So I'm excited about that. I'm actually going to plant my herb garden. I got garlic chives, rosemary, basil, and Italian parsley and cilantro. So those are herbs that I like to use all the time. Yeah. And it's kind of fun when you're cooking to just go walk outside, pick what you want, and, you know, whip it up.
Is this you do this every year, or is this a first herb garden in the house?
Oh, really? You did it inside?
No, you.
Oh, yeah. No, I usually grow herbs every year, and I've tried to do them in the house. They just don't work out as well. So, you know, fortunately in California, we have such a long growing season that, you know, here it is the end of March and I'm already going to plant. I probably could have done it even a little bit earlier if I wanted to. Yeah. All right. So guys, basically after this is mixed in, you're just going to make sure you get all this precious dough off of the spatula there.
And you can use a hand mixer too, right, David?
You could use a hand mixer, but you know, I love my KitchenAid, so why not use that? So I'm just making sure everything's kind of not stuck to the bottom here. And to this dough, I'm going to add 1 1/3 cup of vegan chocolate. Oh, half of them fell out. 1 1/3 cup of vegan chocolate chips, 3/4 of a cup of chopped walnuts, and 1/4 cup of rolled oats. This is really what gives these cookies that unique texture to them. The way the oats react when they're cooking, you won't even taste them because there's so few of them in here, but it definitely will give the cookie a completely different texture that just makes it so delicious. And you're like, wow, you know, why is this so good? Why can't I stop eating these cookies? Which is a good thing.
I'm
All
so
right.
bad with growing, David, that like we've literally have not even put a garden together yet. And we've been here, what, 4 years now, going on 4 years?
Well, I bet you'd have some difficulty with the garden too, with the goats, pigs. They're going to want to eat everything that you grow. They're gonna
Yeah,
be like, this is a buffet. I love a buffet. I would be like with them, like right there. Okay, guys, let me just get this ready to put the cookies on our cookie sheets. So we're probably going to make about a dozen or so cookies. So I have 2 cookie sheets that I lined with parchment paper. And because we want these to be kind of big and beefy cookies, you're going to use 1/4 of a cup of dough for each one. Now, I have a very nifty 1/4 cup ice cream scoop that makes it real easy. If you don't have one, just use your 1/4 measuring cup and kind of form a little ball with your hands. But I'm just using this to scoop out the mounds of dough. And, I'm leaving some space between each one so that they can expand and not bump into each other. Because we don't want one big lumpy mess. And I got to tell you, the first time I made these cookies, I did not have this thing. And boy, I'm already just loving every minute of this. This is Chris, I know you said you liked your gadgets.
I use the ice cream scooper today too.
Yeah,
makes a huge difference.
About your nut milker gadget and how you love your gadget. So I was thinking, this is a gadget that you have to get for yourself as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's the simple things in life.
I got to tell you, I was like astonished to see how that cashew milk came out.
It wasn't it shocking? It's amazing. It's amazing how well that machine works. You can actually do it in like a blender, and but you have to, get the cheesecloth and get the. The gadget makes it great because it, press a button and it's done.
Yeah, if you're like me, if it's too difficult, you're never going to do it, right? No, so exactly. This is nice and easy, and there you go. All right, so guys, now that we have our mounds of cookies, all you want to do is just very gently flatten them out, just a little bit, to shape them, and then we're going to put these in the oven. These cookies kind of bake long and slow, right? Yeah, so temperature, as I said, is only 300 degrees. Normally when you cook cookies, you're at 350. So this is going to be at 300, and we're going to cook them for actually 20 to 22 minutes, which is quite long for a cookie. But hence, we want them to go nice and slow, get nice and thick, and I can't wait. I'm having cookies for breakfast when these come out of the oven. So, all right, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven, switch the set a little bit to get ready to make the next dish, and we'll be back.
Awesome. So, guys, I made these cookies, and they're sitting right here with me. Should I show them now? Why not? No, I'm going to let David show them, and then I'll eat some too. So today, my shirt today, one of my favorite shirts from FTLA Apparel, Plant Protein Vegan. And I love this color. If you guys don't know about For the Love of Animals apparel, which I'm sure you guys do because I'm always wearing their t-shirts, right there, ftlaapparel.com. You can buy a ton of different vegan shirts, and plus our entire Little Bear Sanctuary shirt collection is on that website, and that's our amazing friend Kim. She does an amazing job. You can choose your colors. She's probably got hundreds of designs now, so they're a lot of fun. Handmade. She actually hand screens each of these shirts to order. So I mean, it's almost like you're getting a little mini piece of artwork because it's made just for you. And I've had this shirt for probably Oh gosh, I don't know if Kim is watching. Kim, I probably had this shirt for over 2 years easy, and I've washed it a million times and it still looks amazing. And yeah, no cracks, no, sometimes those shirts get the cracks in the screening, but you can actually see the quality in these. It's pretty amazing, and you'll notice the difference. If you buy one, you should buy one. They're really comfortable and they're a lot of fun. All right, so Tiffany is going to play a little snippet of a film that Little Bear Sanctuary has gotten the rights to pre-screen before its theatrical release. And it's a documentary called Gunda. It's G-U-N like Nancy, D like David, A. Gunda. Its theatrical release is on April 16th. And it's a black and white documentary, and it follows the life of a mama pig and her farm companions, which happen to be 2 cows and a one-legged chicken. It's a really fascinating documentary. There's no people, there's no speaking. The cinematography is outstanding. I have to assume they set up cameras and were obviously not physically there when a lot of this stuff was being filmed. It's an absolute intimate look at especially the life of a mama pig giving birth, and it's a really unique film. I got to see it 2 weeks ago, and we've got a link on the Little Bear Sanctuary website and Facebook. Tickets are on sale now. They're $11 per ticket, and 30% of all ticket sales will go to Little Bear Sanctuary. We're really excited about that. Executive producer is Joaquin Phoenix, and it's directed by Victor Kosakovsky. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Anyway, buy a ticket, watch with your family. Watch it from the privacy of your home. Get a group together. You only really need to buy 1 ticket per household, but if you did want to make an extra donation per person, you guys know how to make a donation. You can go to our website, littlebearsanctuary.org. We have a million different ways to support us. What else can I tell you guys? So today, oh, here we go. Sorry. There's the preview. exciting stuff, guys. It's funny. We've got a mama Yorkshire who gave birth about 6 weeks ago, and it's piglets. It's piglets galore here, and they're truly remarkable to watch. They grow pretty quickly in the beginning. They're born, with their eyes open. They're running around. It's been quite an experience for us here to witness. I don't want to say the miracle of birth, but it's pretty amazing. The mama's doing really well, and the piglets are absolutely adorable. They're so smart. We're blessed to have been able to save these little guys, and they'll always be with mom here, because we keep all the animals here at the sanctuary. They stay with us. We never adopt anybody out, so it's been a lot of fun watching these little babies grow up. And we've got a big spay and neuter coming up starting next week. I think we've got, we've rescued a lot of animals this year. We've got about 22 spays and neuters. Probably deeply doing, I think it's about 3 to 4 a week. So yeah, we have a spay and neuter fund up on the website if you want to throw in a couple bucks for that. And also, if you want to become a monthly supporter, we literally have levels from $1 and up. Patreon, you can do $1, you can do $5, a couple different levels on Patreon. Right there's our link. It's patreon.com/Little Bear Sanctuary. And Patreon's a more behind the scenes. We post pics and videos while I run around here. And it's the stuff we don't post to our regular social media. And you can also sponsor an animal. And we've got quite a few new ones who need sponsors. So a sponsorship starts at $25 a month. And we've broken it down to 4 sponsors per animal, or you can sponsor an animal fully at $100 a month. A great way to get a group of your friends together. You each put in $25 if you want to sponsor a piggy. We've got a lot of new ones, and if you do a full sponsor, we'll let you name the piggy. So that's one of the perks. And basically, we've guys, we are feeding over 12,000 pounds of feed a month, and that does not include the veggies that get donated. It doesn't include the hay. We go through. I have to figure out the weight of the hay, but we go through a lot of hay. It's our biggest expense is feed and hay. So yeah, a $5 donation a month from all of our friends would be a true miracle for the animals. Or even if all of our followers here on Facebook donated $5 a month, it would really be life-changing to the sanctuary, to the animals, and the things that we could project for the future. And we're so grateful to everybody who's donated. A lot of you guys have been here since the beginning, and it's an honor for me because you guys have created this. I feel like I'm just the conduit here, So thank you guys. I truly appreciate everyone's support. Has been sometimes it's overwhelming to me to see how much love that you guys share with us. So I truly am grateful. Randy's grateful. I know I can speak from our entire board of directors, which is a really special group. We truly appreciate everything you guys do for us. And we know that David's back. I'm going to finish. Dave, a couple other things, because we know everybody's finances are different. If you shop on Amazon, I'm sure you guys know by now about Amazon Smile. It's the exact same Amazon website. You just go to smile.amazon.com and you can list Little Bear Sanctuary as your nonprofit, and Amazon will donate money to the sanctuary based on a percentage of qualified purchases. So it's completely free to you. And we get a nice check every few months from Amazon, who has a lot of money. So don't forget to add Little Bear Sanctuary. If you guys don't have a nonprofit on there, get onto Amazon today and check it out. We'd be thrilled. Are we ready, David, to make some spaghetti squash?
I'm ready. I'm
All right.
ready. So, in keeping with our theme of gadgets today, I also have a new gadget, which is a induction tabletop oven. And this is the very first time that I'm actually using it to do a cooking show. So
I'm excited to
very
see how
important.
it works.
You know my address. If the house catches on fire, call 911.
Is that like that whole top is convection? Like you can put any size pan?
So basically, I got it at IKEA. See it?
Oh wow.
It's the little plug-in thing. It does have a fan, and I'm wondering how loud that's going to be, and if it's going to mess up the sound here. So bear with me. I'll try to.
It'll be fine.
It's possible,
That's
but
really cool.
it's just like a plexiglass or something cooktop. And then the thing is, you have to get a metallic pan that will induct the heat. A lot of the pans that I have weren't magnetic, so I had to run out last night and get one so I can do the show. So
now induction,
we'll give it a go.
I'm pretty sure, right? The surface doesn't get hot, right? Once you take that pan away.
The surface of this doesn't. It'll get warm based on if the pot's hot and it's sitting on something warm. Right. But this doesn't necessarily get hot, but this does.
Yeah. Amazing. IKEA. I can't believe IKEA sells that. Wow.
Never used it before, so here we go. First time for everything, and doing it live on.
Hey, why not? Why not?
Be the best idea.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing we're going to do to make our spaghetti squash pasta is we have to cook our spaghetti squash. So spaghetti squash is one of these big yellow babies, okay? And basically what I did is already cut it in half, scooped out the seeds like a pumpkin or something like that. And then I rubbed the inside with olive oil and then sprinkled it with salt and pepper, okay? Then I cooked them face side down on a sheet for about an hour at 350 degrees. And when they're done, this is what they look like, okay? So you have this nice caramelized look, and what we'll do is get a fork when it's time to eat this and grate the tines of the fork across the pasta, the squash, and it's going to shred it like spaghetti.
Oh, wow.
Word to the wise, you definitely want to do that. Make sure you have a half hour before you need it, because you saw I was able to hold that and it's still a little bit hot. But if it's too hot and you're trying to hold a hot squash and grate it at the same time, you'll have a lot of oohs and ahs. Now, this pasta sauce, the sauce that I'm going to make for the top, I mean, it's really just a classic Italian fresh tomato pasta recipe. And you could put this over regular pasta, but I actually love to put it over the spaghetti squash. So to make the pasta, our ingredients are going to be about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. And, don't worry that it's a lot of olive oil, because ultimately this is the sauce of your pasta. There's nothing else that we're putting in here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this on and see what happens here. Do you hear that humming, or is it okay? Can you still hear me? Good?
You're good.
Okay.
Don't hear anything.
All right. So it's on. So while the oil's heating up, I'll go through the ingredients. We have an onion. Now, what I like to do with the onion, slice it in half and then create half rings, because if you're making something like pasta, it's nice when these cook to have the longer pieces of onion instead of chopped onions, right? I think it just makes it a little bit fancier when you're doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in here and let them start to cook. One of the first things that I immediately realized is I don't have a vent hood. So the house
Don't cry. Don't start crying.
Yeah, right. So now my delicious smell of baking chocolate chip cookies is quickly getting overpowered by onions here, but it's all good. We'll get it going. I'm not really sure what the temperature buttons mean. It's like, 300, 400. I'm like, all right. So bear with me. I'm going to be like pushing buttons here.
Oh my goodness. All right.
As we're cooking the onions, just about when they start getting, cooked for about 2 or 3 minutes to soften them up a little bit, I'm going to add 3 cloves of finely chopped garlic. And
I can see it steaming already, so that does really heat up.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then I'm going to add 2 cups of cherry tomatoes, and I cut them in half, and I got the tomatoes that have different colors, like the heirloom tomatoes.
Yeah.
It just puts a lot more pizzazz into your dish and makes it seem a little bit more fancy than if you just had regular tomatoes. If you only have regular tomatoes, don't worry about it, because we have some other fancy things to add to this dish. We have some black Kalamata olives and some green Spanish olives with pimento. And I kept some of them whole and I cut some of them in half because I want to create various textures. So while having some of the olives smaller and the other ones a little bigger, it helps create the different textures. All right, well, this seems to be working out pretty good.
Yeah, I love that. I have to get me one.
And then the showstopper for this recipe is going to be about a tablespoon of capers. All right, and that's just going to bring out wonderful flavor.
I got
capers. A trivia question for you.
Oh boy.
You know why capers come in such a tiny little jar?
No.
Because you don't need many of them when you're cooking. So just a tablespoon of the capers. And then, of course, I got some fresh parsley. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to stick to cooking. My comedic talents are lacking. All right. So these are cooking up. I'm going ahead and putting in the garlic. And oh my gosh, just this little bit of steam since I've been cooking this, I'm already sweating because it's not going into a vent hood. So
yeah,
interesting. So you don't want to cook the garlic too much. You just want to get the garlic in the oil cooked up a little bit because that will help take away that sharpness of the garlic. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to get like a facial today standing in front of this thing.
An onion facial.
But just cooking the garlic a little bit, you don't want it to brown because then it gets bitter, but just cooking it a little bit helps reduce the sharpness of it in the dish so it's not too strong when you're actually eating your meal. Okay.
That's amazing how quick that's cooking.
Now I'm going to go ahead and add our tomatoes. And at this point, we want these tomatoes to cook down a little bit because the juices of the tomatoes will come out and that will help making the sauce. So I think our timing is perfect because I think our cookies might almost be done. So I can let this sit here and cook up a little more. Oh, I'm kind of liking this thing. I think I'd have to figure out a little bit in terms of the steam or maybe choose what I cook on this or not. But I just shut it off. It's kind of nice. It's sensitive. Yeah. So there you go.
I got to check that out.
So this is just going to take another minute or so. And what happens is as what's that sound? My favorite sound, the sound of the cookie buzzer. Let's go check and see what's going on. Oh, wow. Those cookies look awesome. I put them on for another 2 minutes.
That's what I had to do too, yeah.
How this is going. Those of you that watch my show, David's Kitchen LA, you'll know that every time the oven buzzer goes off, stop the presses, make a big deal of my sound. Who doesn't love the sound of the oven buzzer going off, right?
I love it.
Chris, have you used spaghetti squash before?
I have actually.
You haven't?
No, I have.
Oh,
Yes.
you have.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you normally cook it and serve it?
I've done it as a side dish. I've never done it as a pasta.
Uh-huh.
So, in the oven, cut it in half, the usual. Sometimes it's like the brown sugar, similar to an acorn squash with the butter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way I've had it before too, is like with butter. But I tend to like things more spicy. And so to create this dish, I love it on top of the spaghetti squash. It just comes out so good, and the flavors are so fresh. And as
I'm still amazed how quickly that's cooking with that induction top.
Yeah. All right. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add our olives. Put them all in there. And once again, as they cook up, all of their flavors and juices just help make the sauce an amazing, fresh. I mean, think of this. I mean, you could eat this for 21 days and chocolate chip cookies.
God.
Happy,
Totally,
right?
Yeah.
One other thing I am going to add that I forgot to put out is some crushed red pepper. I love crushed red pepper, so I usually put it in anything savory that I'm making.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go another minute or so.
Yeah, they're big cookies.
Yes. Go ahead and season this how you like with salt and pepper and some little black pepper. And a little bit of salt. A lot of people ask me on my show about my salt container, and I got this at Tangiers, Morocco. It's a little Moroccan mini tangine dish, and it's perfect as a salt holder, and it reminds me of being in Morocco.
Oh, wow.
All right, this is really cooking up.
That's what you need next, David, a Moroccan oven.
I'm sorry?
That's what you need to get next, a Moroccan, oven thing.
Yes, yes. Now, if you wanted to make this more of a tomato sauce, you could add a can of crushed tomatoes or some fresh tomato puree. But sometimes, like I like it just like this, where it's not too overpowered by the tomatoes. All right, and then one of the last things we're going to do now is add our capers. While you could hear me and the sound isn't an issue, I realize I have a little hard time hearing you because the cooktops between me and the computer. So, yeah.
What's really, what I just noticed on this show, which is so bizarre, that you're over here, you're on this side of the screen for me, which is the opposite side. You know what I'm saying? I said, what I just noticed on the show today is, even though you're on this side of me, see where I'm pointing? That's where I see you. So every time I look over, if I'm looking over here, I'm looking away from you, but it's looking towards you. So every time you do something, I look like this, and it looks like I'm looking away.
I love it. Okay, so I shut this down, and I'm going to put a little bit of fresh parsley on top and just let this sit for a few minutes. Ooh, and the fan went off. Oh, and I hear my favorite sound.
As long as the fire alarm doesn't go off.
Yes. Oh, these cookies look like they are totally done. Let's see.
I've been waiting all morning for this, David.
Wow. Look at these. See these cookies right there? Look at that. Now, they do need to cool down for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and put them on a cooling rack over to the side, but we will get to sample them. And next thing I'll do is I'll show you how you make the spaghetti out of the squash. Take a bowl and just a regular fork. I took a couple of paper towels here because this is still a little bit warm, and it will also help you grip the spaghetti squash. And so just hold it in your hand like that. Take your fork over your bowl, and you can see as soon as I start doing this, just greatly run the fork through, and it starts making this miracle of stringy squash, which basically is, you know, a little bit of a stretch for spaghetti, but it's certainly close enough. And from a ingredient in a dish, you can use it just like spaghetti from a spaghetti replacement. So this was about a pretty big squash. It was about a 5-pound squash, and you'll get a lot of meat off of the skin here if you just keep, maybe go in the opposite direction, end up getting it all out here. And that should be enough. Okay.
How many servings is that half squash right there, would you say?
Well, if you were going to make this dish, I would say
servings? 1, 2 servings?
I would say like 1 1/3 servings. Okay. I mean, this is squash. I need this whole thing. I need the whole thing. No, it's like, okay, well, who are we talking about? A lot of people would probably make 2 servings out of this. Okay. Well, depending, like, okay, are you just going to have this with this delicious? I'm going to actually pour this right on top. Oh, it's just amazing. But, let's say you wanted to make like a nice meal. You could make a salad on the side, and you serve this with a salad. Then maybe half of it would be absolutely plenty. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of our nutritional yeast on here just to kind of give it that extra little flavor. Little garnish.
For those of you watching, if you guys don't know what nutritional yeast, it looks amazing. I was going to explain nutritional yeast. You want to explain nutritional yeast to people?
You probably could explain it better than me. I was just
So nutritional yeast is it's a flake that's similar to, it's used in a lot of cheese-based recipes. It sort of has a cheese taste to it. It's hard to describe, right, David? It's kind of
it's like a flaky.
I think it's yeast flakes. It's actual yeast flakes, and it's loaded with a lot of B12. All the good vitamins that we all need. And you can make it in cheese sauces. Some people you like to use it just as in place of Parmesan cheese, like a sprinkle cheese.
So I've been cooking this. I'm going to have to taste it. So let's give it a try.
It looks amazing.
Oh my God. It's really good. Yeah. I have to say myself, guys, it's easy. You saw, I was able to
that's an easy recipe.
And be on TV at the same time. That easy. So,
and healthy. That's a really healthy version without the, pasta.
That's right. Because, pasta. Hopefully we're on the home stretch of this lockdown with COVID, and we all have to start paying attention to getting rid of our COVID-15. Someone has a COVID-14, but we're not making any names here. So, eating the spaghetti squash isn't a bad thing, right?
No, not at all.
All right. So we ready to try one of these delicious cookies?
Maybe.
Maybe. Why? What happened?
No, I'm just kidding. I've been waiting all morning.
So
I made these cookies too, guys, today, and I did not have chocolate chips, but I did have raisins. And I got to say, I'm going to show mine. There's look at these guys. They're gigantic.
They look awesome.
They really, now that you say the way they fluffed up, like when you cream the butter.
They're like a little hockey puck.
These are big.
Yes. And mine are still pretty hot, so it needs to cool down a little bit to hold its shape, but that's not going to stop me from taking a bite. Ready?
No, I'm ready. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my God. Aren't they crazy good?
Oh my God.
And warm. I'm like, oh my God. They're so good. Yep.
I'm gonna keep eating. Oh my God, they're so good.
Well,
These totally,
that's what I had for you.
These totally remind me of those cookies too.
Yep. Don't they? And that little bit of the rolled oats, you never even know they're in there, but the cookie has this texture that you're like, what is that? Don't tell anybody. It's our secret.
It's amazing.
Well,
good.
I hope like this. This was kind of fun doing two things in one day. You really had me up and at 'em early this morning and here in California. But on the bright side is I have dinner and dessert ready for tonight. So woohoo.
And breakfast.
And breakfast, yes. Yes. Exactly.
Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Next week, as you know, we have our 21-day plant-based vegan challenge. So this was a great way to start us off. And, you know, I always appreciate you coming on the show. Everybody loves you. And I hope people try these recipes because these cookies are amazing. And I'm definitely trying that spaghetti squash because my 21-day vegan challenge is to be more on the plant-based healthy side. Because, you know, I love my junk food. I love my processed food. So I'm going to make myself eat really healthy for the next 21 days.
Well, there's oats in these cookies, so you know, they're healthy. They're heart healthy.
Actually, they're not. They really are, considering, you know.
There's not a ton of sugar in them either.
Not a ton of sugar. Yeah, and I use raisins, although chocolate's very healthy. If you do like the dark chocolate, but it's really good with the raisins. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
No,
and
thank you, David.
hello to
Great
my kitchenettes out there.
Yeah.
I'll be back. So it'll be fun. We'll think of something else to do. And I'll sign off with my signature. For God's sakes, wash your hands. Ciao.
Bye, sweetie. Oh my God, guys, these cookies are so good. I wish I could share these with you. You've got to try these. Way more. I don't care. So good. Eating cookies. So a week and a half ago, I went to Whole Foods. And Whole Foods is about a good 50 minutes from where we live. And usually I try to do, because it's down 4 Myers, we're in Punta Gorda, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I always love going and checking on new vegan products. So I'm walking through the store, and the vegan section for like cheeses and vegan meats is sort of along the back wall, and it's in those refrigerated section with the glass doors. So you know, I buy my veggies when I go in because I always get so excited. They always have a lot of the veggies that I can't get in the regular grocery store, especially mushrooms and a really fun variety of different veggies. And I'm passing the milk section, and you know me and my coffee creamers, right? So I got so excited because there were like at least 7 new coffee creamers that I hadn't tried yet. So let me share the good news and the bad news. So I'm not a fan of coconut milk based creamers in my coffee. I love coconut milk. Excuse me, but in my coffee, I don't know. I don't like that coconut aftertaste. I want to taste my coffee, and I'm still trying to find that perfect non-sugar vegan creamer. So I got all excited. I literally took everything that I'd never tried before, not reading the labels, you know, but quite a few of them were coconut based. So I tried this. I tried two of these, and it's called. It looks like Laird. Yeah, Laird. Laird superfood creamer, and I bought the sweetened and the unsweetened. This is what it looks like. It's a one of the smaller things, 16 ounces. So, there I am throwing all the coffee creamers in my cart, and I honestly I didn't read. So this one, which is unsweetened, and I really thought, oh my God, maybe this is the one. But it does have it's made with coconut cream, and if you do like coconut, you actually might like this one. This one, and it's called a superfood creamer because it contains functional mushrooms. So chaga, lion's mane, cordyceps. I think I'm not pronouncing it right. And if you've been looking at a lot of stuff online, there's a lot of mushroom-based coffee. So these mushrooms are supposed to give you energy and help keep your energy up all day. And I gotta say, it was really creamy. I'm not a big fan. I wouldn't buy it again. And for me, it was really only the coconut. I actually felt I had more energy. I really had more energy, which I thought, how could that be, right? But this is the first time I'm trying one of those mushroom enhanced plant-based drinks, and it had a really nice, rich, creamy texture. Like it was all there. For me, it was the coconut cream, but not a bad unsweetened coffee creamer. And they do have a sweetened version, which I tried too. And again, for me, it was the coconut milk. I don't know what it is with me and coconut milk in my coffee, but I did find also, this one I loved. It's an organic oat creamer made by Sown, S-O-W-N. And it's sweet and creamy. And I figured, okay, this is going to be the one that really reminds me of, old school half and half, which I used to love. I'm still looking for that one coffee creamer that reminds me of half and half, and I still haven't found it. I think I'm going to have to make it, guys. I'll have to go in the kitchen and start experimenting. But this one, actually really amazing. Really creamy. Does have sugar in it, and it's 4 grams of sugar, which is, who uses a tablespoon? You just pour it in, right? Nobody uses a tablespoon of this stuff. But I really enjoyed the taste of this. It's organic, it's non-GMO, and it wasn't sweet where you went like some of them are. So I would definitely buy this again. I really enjoyed it. And again, it's an organic oat creamer. I love oat milk. I love oat creamers. Somebody has got to figure this one out without the sugar. There's got to be. Who doesn't love half and half? I used to love half and half. And hey, if any of you guys out there have tried a product that reminds you of half and half, let me know. I'm still trying to find it. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. My favorite. I still have to go back to my Silk original. This to me is the ultimate coffee creamer for me. I still go back to this one every single time. So I haven't found anything better. It is a soy-based creamer, but it creams. It does have a little bit of sugar in it, but so far to me, I still like, this is my favorite. And they do make an oatmeal one now. Do I have it here? Oh yeah, they do a oatmeal cookie creamer. A little sweet. I think it's 4 grams of sugar. I don't know why sometimes they seem sweeter than others, but it tastes like you're drinking an oatmeal cookie. So that was my exciting trip to Whole Foods. And so, sort of found one, sort of didn't. I'm going to keep trying. I think I'm going to have to make one myself. So as you go, as next week, guys, we have it's our 21-day plant-based vegan challenge. It starts next Friday, and I'm really excited about it. We're going to do it based on everyone's level of income and availability of food, and you guys, however you guys want to do it. It all works. I think we can all as a group do this together, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that some of my non-vegan friends will join us. You know, if you watch my show, I think you have to start to make that connection with the animals, and it's truly, it's not just for the animals, it's for your health. For me, it's just for the animals. I do everything for the animals, but I'm really excited. I'm personally going to try this, like a no sugar, whole food, plant-based, the tofu, the veggies, all that good healthy stuff, which I rarely eat, I admit. But we're gonna show all the different products. We're gonna do lots of different recipes. I've got another one of my favorite vegan chefs, Diana Goldman's going to be on the 23rd, I believe it is, and on the 9th, my friend Bill Muir, also known as Sergeant Vegan, he's going to be on the 9th, and next week, the 2nd, it's going to be moi in my kitchen, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to show you guys some really simple, easy go-to meals. We'll talk about meal prep for the week. We'll talk about different products. And again, I'll go from, if you can find the Gardein, great. You just have the tofu or the seitan or the, a basic protein that you can find in your supermarket. We can work from that too. We're going to do enchiladas. We're going to do tacos. I'm going to show you guys how to make a plant-based roast in your bread maker. Easy breezy, throw the ingredients in if you have a bread maker. Flip the switch, and 2 hours later, you are going to have the most incredible roast. What I do with that is I slice it thin for lunch meat during the week. You guys are going to be completely shocked when I show this to you. So if you have a bread maker, talk about easy. And I'm all about easy when it comes to cooking. So I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to have a really good time. I hope you guys will join us, and I hope you guys will start your plant-based journey. And for those of you who are already plant-based, let's try to do a whole foods, healthy diet. I don't know how Randy's going to feel about it, but it's all good. So that's it for today, guys. I had a great time. Thank you, David, for coming on today's show. I really enjoyed it. These cookies are the bomb. I'll see you guys next week. This is Chris Vane signing out. Remember, peace begins on your plate. Love you guys.
Don't want the fun to end? Grab more refreshments. Then head over to the Goldylocks Productions YouTube channel. With the huge selection of shows, the fun doesn't have to end.